Now, I am on the US, the Chinese operation system using this Fantasy 2 by innosilicon. That is the fastest GPU or display card, matching with Chinese CPU loongson 3a6000 CPU. Now you can check the information of my computer. As you see, it is loongson 3a6000 and 32 GB RAM. Is the UNIC Chinese RAM as well. You can also see the GPU is the innosilicon, which means here is the Fantasy 2. It is the great GPU, the equivalent to the American AMD rx550 around grade. So that's pretty enough for using 4K or 1080p slide. I'm testing opening 3 or 4 videos simultaneously. Also okay, right? It's very smooth. What it lacks, maybe it's just some kind of drivers problem and software rendering and some optimization. Otherwise it will be very good and very smooth, because the GPU has that kind of level. The performance and the processing power already is the top level, but what it lacks is the software optimization and the driver optimization, because the driver and software optimization and compatibility need time to develop and time to make it more smooth. So now, for the normal using and videos playing, no problem. Now, like what I'm doing, very smooth. And gaming, I will show you soon. And the loongson 3a6000, which can translate the x86 instruction set software to the loongson architecture, the instruction set. Also can use the while 64 to translate to the Windows to the Linux, and then translate the x86 to loongson, so that the loongson 3a6000 CPU can run the x86 Windows software, both Windows and Linux software, with no problem. That's why the Chinese proud. I'm so proud to be Chinese, because in the world there are only America, USA's CPU, and the opposite one is China, the Chinese. Otherwise, no more. Europe cannot, Japan cannot, Russia no. So only China and USA have those kind of high-level CPUs, GPU operation system, high-end technology. So this US running so great. I'm used to seeing those kind of Ukrainian or Western people, white people, who marry the Chinese guys. That's very good. Before, we Chinese were lagging behind. We Chinese looked up the right people and foreigners, but now the right people look up to Chinese, because we got the better technologies and better high-end advanced architecture, infrastructure. So they look up to me, look up at us, right? So we are now not inferior, but they are inferior. They are following our rules and systems and CPU and standards. Now, things are changing, vice versa. Now the world is Chinese world, and China is leading the world. They have certain standards, they have certain technologies, they make things cheap, they make things standard, cheap, and very high-tech, advanced. So now you can see all the things are very smooth. Playing, running smooth. we don't need to follow the American standard. We don't need to use AMD, right? We don't need to use Intel, Windows, Microsoft Windows. We don't need to use those kind of things, and we anti the LGBT, those kind of crap, right? The gay marriage is just insane, and it's just not by the God's sake. Those kind of things is immoral, right? LGBT, right? Girl marries girls, boy marries boys. What kind of suck things by the Western world, by the demon crazy, fake democracies, no democracy, no freedom, those kind of crap. So we don't need to say that those kind of crap continue to test the game now. It's very smooth. So I think it's very smooth. You can see before I used also the Chinese GPU JM9100 is by Jumbo IC, the Jinja Michael, which was not so smooth. You can check back my video previously I took, and it was not like that. Now you can see it's very fast. The frame per second is around 100 over 70 to 100. You can feel it. It's very smooth, very good. This GPU's processing power is very powerful, and it handles a lot of things like the very complicated scenarios, but its driver software optimization may have some kind of problems. The picture rendering may be wrong. You can check it. You can see it later. Sooner or later by the videos. Think is good. The Chinese is reaching the world and making to those kind of high-tech things, high-tech stuff to very vegetable price. Sooner or later, you can have it. Very cheap. African, you can have it, enjoy it. But the only thing I have already said, the picture rendering, the driver optimizations, and the compatibility, you can see the compatibility is not good. It's just black screen with sound, but it should be with the screen that is normal now. But the JM9100, it could display the picture animation, but here cannot. So even this card, the Fantasy 2, is very fast, but some kind of things still need to be improved. It's like the compatibility, the driver optimization, so cannot display very well for some certain games. The games, when they update drivers, may be okay. Later, sooner or later, we'll pay back the game and check and test it again. So I'm testing the game, which is also very, very smooth because the performance, the processing power of that card is very strong. So this Chinese operation system very smooth. Excuse me. And you can see you can play a lot of 3A 3D game, very big one, still very fast and very smooth. You can see very smooth. I love it. I'm matching with US because US only support this card. The Longolus doesn't support this card, so I need to buy the activation key of the US 500 RMB around. And you can see the GPU display error. So still as set, the driver still and the software still need to be improved. And it can go in, but just bounce back to desktop. Some kind of error, some kind of the optimization, the compatibility still need to be improved. Okay, try again. Let's go inside and test the environment to play the game. Wow, very smooth. You can see the right bottom hand side, FPS 70 to 80 around FPS, the frame per second. So it's very smooth, very, very smooth, which is very, very playable. Even the game 3D so great, right? So let's try the bots. 32 NPCs simultaneously, the bots concurrently at the same screen. See how it works. Frame per second 30 something. So I think still good, but it bounces back to the desktop. So when I was playing with the JM9100, which didn't have that kind of problem because of the drivers and the compatibilities problem. I now know, but waiting for the next driver maybe. And now you can have others like the game plays Red Eclipse. Let's try Red Eclipse, also a very massive big 3D game. Let's try this first. I think it's for sure it can handle it very easily because this is just nothing, not so 3D, right? So no worries for sure, which is smooth. So there are already 4 GPUs out in the market can match Loongson 3a6000, which is this innosilicon Fantasy 2, which is the highest level. And the second one is the more thread MTT S30. The benchmark is a little bit lower than this card. The second, I think, is the range of the second. And the third one is the Gemmo IC JM9230. So it's just okay. That you can see here is the Fantasy 2 for the GPU. So this game renders the GPU successfully, and now let's test it. And also has Jiaoxin Glenfy GT10CO, so that kind of GPU also great, but I couldn't start with this GPU with the Loongson 3a6000, couldn't go even into the BIOS, so I couldn't boot up, so I just we sold the card out. You can see the drivers compatibility is having some kind of problem. You can see the pictures doesn't show fully, with some wrong rendering, wrong picturing. That's why still the driver software compatibility still need to be improved, need to be optimized. As I said, there are already 4 cards. This is the fastest, and the second fastest maybe the Jiaoxin Glenfy GT10CO, but doesn't support, 3a6000 doesn't boot up, so even you cannot go to the BIOS. So we sold it, forgot it. This is the number 2, and the third one is the more thread MTT S30. I mean the benchmark is the third high end level, and the last one is the Jingjiao Micro Gemmo IC 9230, that kind of GPU. And the Gemmo IC just support Linux, doesn't support the Windows. This support Windows, Linux, DirectX as well, and other 3 also like that. So peace out.